So you've seen a pressing matter and you've gotten your plant press. What's next? Well, if there weren't botanists, then there wouldn't be the millions of plant pressings that exist in herbaria around the world today. So we're going to put on our botanist cap and go out in the field and collect. Besides your plant press, all you'll need is a journal, a pencil, and a native plant guide if you have one. We're lucky on the Marco Island Historical Museum campus to have only native plants in our gardens. Now when you're taking a sample, you want to look at the whole plant first and make sure nothing exciting or interesting is happening with that plant. Is it blooming? Does it have berries, seed pods, things like that? And if you find something interesting, you want to make sure you collect that in your sample. So my plant was blooming, so I made sure my sample has flowers on it. The next step is to try to identify it if you can. So I'm going to look in my native plant guide and see. It looks like I've got a Jamaican caper plant. So I'm going to take out my journal, and there's only a couple things you need to record in the fields. The first thing you're going to put down is the specimen number. This is the first sample that I've collected as a botanist, so I'm going to write down number 1. Then I'm going to write down today's date, the day I collected it, the collector, that's me, the scientific name, oh my goodness, that's the 2-part Latin name, it's really hard to pronounce. I'm going to try my best though. Capparis cynophalophora. So it's okay if you can't pronounce it, just make sure you spell it correctly. And then after the scientific name, I'm going to write down the common name, Jamaican caper. And probably the most important thing that you need to make sure you record in the field is where you found it. Well, that's a 2-part thing. One is the habitat. So my Jamaican caper plant is in a garden along the water. So write that down. And then the second part is the location. So unlike 100 years ago, we have it pretty easy today. We can use streets for references. So I would probably write down Marco Island Historical Museum, 180 South Youthwood Drive, Marco Island, Florida. The last thing is optional, but if you have any notes about the plant that you want to record, like maybe I'd write down that the flowers on my plant are reddish, or if it has a certain smell, you could write that as well. So now you are ready to go out and collect your next specimen. Remember, if you haven't seen our exhibit, come check it out, or our native plant walk, which is here year-round and open to the public. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.